Heyo, this is going to be a quick little video on Diablo 4 Season 4 Loot Reborn. So I'm approaching this more from the perspective of just kind of the casual Diablo 4 gamer. I play lots of other video games. I don't really have time to commit to playing a crazy amount of one particular game. I mean, I do have time, but, you know, I don't want to make time is my point. When I boot up a game, I kind of expect that it's going to be fun for, you know, every minute that I'm playing the game. I think that's a pretty reasonable expectation to have with any game, to be honest with you. And that's kind of ultimately, I think, you know, we've had some ups and downs, obviously, with the Diablo 4 seasons. Largely overall, you know, the approach in Season 4 is not, I wouldn't say radically different in terms of the actual content that you're completing. They really made a huge focus on Hell Tides this time around, so my biggest complaint about Diablo 4 is just kind of what feels like stale content. If you are wondering if they've massively introduced like new content, new areas, new zones, new enemy types, new bosses and stuff into the game, largely the answer to that is no. There is some new bosses and stuff in the Hell Tides, which is cool. You can summon these fairly powerful boss type encounters in the Hell Tides, and it will actually ping on the map. Actually, you can see it right here. It's doing it as we speak. Let's see if we can actually catch one right now. But it'll ping it on the map so you know that other players are doing it, and you can go help them out, and you'll get pretty big loot drops, which is it's pretty fun. I think it kind of helps with just the you know, kind of communal social elements of this. That's another factor, right? They haven't changed anything from a social perspective in the game. It looks like we missed it, unfortunately. So this is the area over here, though. These on the map here, these accursed rituals. As you can see, the game is loading poorly for some reason. Tends to do that. I don't know why. You're still gonna run into some server issues. I think the performance of the game could still be running better. Yada yada yada. However, all that being said, I'm going to say that overall, I am generally positive on this season, and I think that's for a few different reasons. I mean, obviously the season is called Loot Reborn. Okay, the Helltide just ended, so that's why that is why we are seeing what's happening here. Let's go into town here. We'll go into Kiovashat. Why not? But yeah, generally I'm pretty positive on the season, and I think number one, the loot, I don't know what you want to call it, but the loot hunt, I guess, is definitely a lot. It just feels a lot more natural. I feel like I'm actually finding items that are appropriate for my build. I've been able to like actually kind of pick a class and just have fun with it. I didn't do any research or look into what was the strongest class this season or anything. I have done that in previous seasons, and sure, it helped, but it always feels kind of gross just not to be able to like pick a class that you want to play and be able to make a build out of it. Don't get me started on Druid on some of the previous seasons. I've had issues with that in the past. I've never played a Sorceress, and I don't know. Again, I haven't really done much homework into this, to be honest with you, at all. So, you know, just I'm going off of my own personal experience here. And that so far, I just picked, when I haven't played a Sorceress before, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to play the Frost Source. And I have been able to, like, pretty easily just put together a build that works for me here. But the biggest reason I've been able to do that is because I think of the addition of, well, number one, the loot drops just seem to be better. I've gotten, you can see here, I've got a few uniques that I've gotten that are pretty cool. I seem to consistently find gear that actually improves the abilities and the damage that I want to improve, that I want to focus on. So whatever your build is, I think you will probably consistently find things that are just kind of good for your build. And they've also added this nice little tempering ability. So if you are thinking about jumping back into this, make sure you visit the blacksmith go to the tempering option. You can throw an item in here, whatever it is, and you'll be able to pick from a list of recipes. So in this case, I'm looking at a helm. It is offering the defensive tempering option on it. Defensive, and you can just pull up a list of recipes that I've found, right? So I'm a frost source, so here I'd probably be looking at mostly either worldly endurance, maybe I don't use those ones too much, or frost cage. So you can see there's a few different abilities here, right? Frost Nova cooldown, chill slow potency, and +1 to cold front. So these are things that I can just randomly temper onto my item. And basically I pick whichever one I want, and I will have a chance to roll on one of these affixes, and it will just, boom, it'll actually add it as an additional affix. So if you look at the item here, you can see there's the fourth affix down on the item actually has a little anvil there. That's my random affix that I've actually added on to this item. So you automatically, if you think an item is good and you think it's decent, you automatically, right then and there, boom, get to add on a useful affix. Now, there's a chance you may not get the affix you want, right? So in this case, maybe chill slow potency is the one I was going after. I rolled it 4, you can roll it up to 4 times maximum, and I might not get it, okay? So it may ultimately not be your best in slot item, but it still won't be a useless item. I'm not actually a huge fan of that. I do think they should let you, I don't know how you get around it. Like, I understand why they've capped it, because they want you to be able to, they don't want you to just get your best in slot right off the bat. But maybe they could introduce something like, okay, maybe you get up to so many rolls on the item, and then you have to go in and maybe do some dungeons, and you can craft something that maybe resets the tempering ability on it or something like that. I don't know. I'm not crazy. I kind of just wish they'd just let you roll on it. Because honestly, even if you're rolling on it, you're still not guaranteed to get the max roll. Like, I might get the affix that I want, but it may not be the max roll or that affix, right? So maybe I'm after chill slow potency, but maybe I only get the 18.5. I don't get the 27.5. Yeah, maybe just introducing some kind of item or crafting that needs to be done to re-roll tempers on an item. Maybe that's an option. So not crazy about that element, that you can literally like scrap your item just from rolling a maximum of 4 times on it if you don't get what you want. I understand the thought process behind it. I do think there's probably a better option, but hey, what do I know? That's just my opinion. But this kind of gamifies finding items. So this automatically means if you find a decent item, you can go here and you can get some kind of useful affix on it, pretty much guaranteed, right? Even if it's not exactly the one you want, it's not going to be a total piece of trash necessarily. Maybe unless you're playing, really, really high levels and you really need to min-max stuff. But I mean, I'm only level 65 right now. I don't know what the late game looks like. I'm basing this kind of more on the mid game right now. And then of course, you can go to your occultist. You can use your codex power. The codex power is way better now. You actually, as you salvage items, it will actually level it up and improve the percentages of whatever the affix is. You can see I've got 4 out of 6 upgraded for, just looking at a random one here. Aspect of disobedience, defensive ability. It's 4 out of 6. You can see rank 4 out of 6 there. And so as I find that affix on random items and salvage them, this will actually level up. So salvage items are doing a lot more for you than they're also giving you the crafting materials you need to temper, and they are giving you what you need to upgrade your affixes through the Codex of Power. So that's really nice, right? So there's a whole, I mean, you don't even have to, I don't even think about going to dungeons anymore for my affixes. Maybe that's something I'm doing wrong. Maybe I need to look at what the best affix is from a dungeon. I don't know if they actually vary from what I have here. I'll have to look into that. I'm not 100% sure about that. I've just been using what's in the Codex of Power, and honestly, it's been working fine. You can only attach one affix to one item, so you can see here I've got these 2 attached. There's a little caution sign or whatever. It says apply to another equipped item. But anyways, my point is that you can actually kind of really, with kind of these 3 abilities, so between tempering, your Codex of Power, and the enchanting your item, you can replace an affix, right? Which we could already do previous to the season. You can affect 3 different affixes on any item. So you can really kind of like, if you find an item, you're like, okay, this is decent. I think this could be good in my arsenal. I'm not sure if it will turn out better than what I already have. You know, maybe it's worth it to actually go in and invest in and replace some of these affixes, try to get a good roll on it. That's what I just did with this ring. I got lucky. I was going for the damage roll. I got the max damage roll on this ring of 35%. So it just really kind of gamifies the loot system, gives you way more flexibility, and allows you to really customize your items in a way that you couldn't really before. You could a little bit, but this system is just so much easier and so much more flexible. Doesn't require you to go into Nightmare Dungeons to build up your affixes and stuff like that. You still will do. I really honestly haven't really even gone into Nightmare Dungeons yet because I'm still working on the seasonal Iron Wolves quest, which gives you pretty darn good seasonal items. I've got a lot of my unique and legendary item drops just from doing the seasonal quests, and most of that just happens in the Helltides. So I've just really been running around Helltides doing that for the most part, you know, doing some other, you know, Tree of Whispers and stuff like that. And then I'm going to assume, and again, this is just, I'm not an expert, this is just me, again, coming at it from casual perspective here, but I'm going to assume the late game is I finish off the seasonal quests. The Helltides may not be as valuable at that point anymore beyond just leveling up quickly. And at that point, I probably will be looking more at doing some Nightmare Dungeons to level up my glyphs for my Paragon, right? So I think that's kind of what the intention is. I don't know. That seems to be, I really haven't had a reason to start grinding out Nightmare Dungeons. I would also say, again, casual perspective here, I am leveling up so much more quickly this time around. You'll get a lot of consumables just as playing the game. You'll get tons of elixirs. Make sure you're always using your elixirs. Run those Helltides, and I think you'll find that you will level up extremely quickly. Hopefully your experience is like mine. You'll find the gear that you need for your particular build, and you won't have to think about it too much. Like, I really honestly, I've been able to just, for better or worse, and in my opinion, this is how I want to play the game, because again, I play Diablo just to chill out, to relax. I'm not playing this to think super hard or make really strategic complex decisions or anything. I just kind of want to like pick a class. I'm like, okay, I want to be a frost source. I want to pick a frost source and reasonably expect that I'm going to find gear. I don't want to wait till level 80 or 90 before I can start thinking about going that build. I want to get gear now and customize it around whatever class I pick. I should be able to pick any class I want in the game, and it should be a viable class to play with. And I should be able to reasonably find loot for that, even if I have to, you know, again, kind of roll on some of these affixes, take some chances on some of the stuff. But I should be able to put something together. I don't care what class you play as, or what skill tree you choose. You should be able to reasonably put together any builds you want, and it should be viable. Maybe it's not the top tier, S tier, but it should be like, okay, these are the 3 or 4 S tier classes for the season, and then everything else is like A tier. That's how this game should work. That is not how it has worked in the past. And I have stopped playing as a result of ultimately not picking the right class. So I think part of the reason people are having a lot more fun this season, because you are able to do that. You're able to kind of just pick a class, and it seems to me that you can just make a build for it, and it'll kind of work. So if you're interested, if you're thinking about getting back to, you're like, shit, is it worth my time? I would say, you know, if you did enjoy Diablo 4 in the past, you did have fun with it, you didn't hate the game, you're like, I want it to be good. I think this is worth your time and checking out. Maybe you still don't hit the level 100 cap. I don't even know if I'm going to at this point, but I don't feel I've invested very much time into this season, and I'm already level 65. Like, things have been moving very quickly in a way that they didn't move in previous seasons. So generally, that's been my experience. Just wanted to kind of take it from a more casual perspective, let you know my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. What class are you playing? How has it gone? How has the loot hunt been going for you? And have you been having a good time, or at least a better time than previous seasons? I'm optimistic about the direction, but we'll see where things go. I mean, I want the game to be good, but not holding out hope. But I'm going to enjoy it while I can. So thanks. We'll see you later.